damage against the Beleric, against Lapu-Lapu, try to sustain yourself in lane, and you do have way
coming from D, because he has pulled this out before back in
jungle, and it's a lot of damage. But
No.
yeah, it does. It does. But the thing.
I just think that Rrq, the draft right, it's super solid, it's very understandable, and you're banking on a lot that Burmese Bulls is going to get this snowball running, and I hope they do to make this work out.
But you have your casters right now, Gideon, Leo, and Contra. Take it away.
Oh, of course, back towards the topic of the Balman, right? It's something that many new players are introduced to when they get in towards the Land of Dawn. And back in the days where people say, hey, Tigreal is nowhere near viable, and yeah, he's way too simple for a competitive play, but look where we are. And I believe that Balman can actually fit in towards.
So I understand why people are speculating and why it's very sus, if you will. That's what the kids say these days. But right now, looking at the way lanings go, it's going to be a side lane Balmond. Again, looking to go toe-to-toe against a Lapu-Lapu. And yeah, even with all the shields and lifesteal that Lapu-Lapu may have, the stacks that R7 can build up here, yeah, I think a lethal on Balmond would be great, especially if it's stacked up with all of the damage that can come from Kid, damage from Ruby DD even. By the way, that is Jawhead.
Oh boy, great that you actually pointed it out. And I believe that they'll be playing with a whole lot of aggression coming in towards these lanes. And that, oh boy, been taking a little bit too much.
Yeah. Again, this is one of those side lane mid lane matchups where it's just like, okay, we're just looking to poke and harass and just clear out the waves before making that rotation. Burmese Ghouls are going to get... Oh, Albert! He's getting real close with those missile arrows.
Oh boy, he just dodged it by a couple of inches there, and he's dealing with R7 right here. I don't think R7 is going to be taken out yet. He's got to respect the territory as much as proxy the wave. Over the mid side, it's Kid for Psycho as well as Albert. Is going to be backing away. A little bit of reset. Turtle is already up while the device team plan as much bombs all over these bushes.
I want to be wrong about this Balmond. I want to be wrong. But the more I look at it and the more I think about it, I'm really hoping Burmese Ghouls get ahead here because he's a lot of babysitting for a good majority of the game, for at least 4 minutes until he can kind of sustain on his own. But until then, he basically can't win against a Lapu-Lapu. If he gets rotated on, he's just hoping he doesn't get dove. And most of the time, Rrq is just going to either dive in pre-4 or play on the opposite side of the map.
To be fair, if Rrq Hoshi bites on that, that's actually on them. They're wasting quite a bit of effort, and again, to think that this is just a Balmond. He has a dash, he has a flicker. That might be what Burmese goes going for anyways.
Oh, well, I hope so, and I really do. I'll look out and be proven wrong here. But Burmese Ghouls, again, unless it's a meta that utilizes Uranus, I don't see this working out, but let's go.
Oh, R7 moving straight in for the kill as it looks left for our Rrq Hoshi, cracking Diggy and Snang.
And now they're going to be rotating towards top sides here. Hello. R7 is going to be under his turret here. D could be going, but a great flicker from R7. And now on to D.
And with D already running right back, they're going to be putting their attention on towards Kit instead. It's going to be a call off. Hoshi respects their ground, but Psycho might just be the next one. So, all right here with the blazing blade coming out for the side. Oh, way too close.
Story here for Burmese Ghouls. They put out so much damage, and I saw that D was literally gonna go for the lethal counter, the flicker out by R7. I see now, we all see now, we understand what the intent was, but I think with that failed engagement, at least they opened up top lane to get the turtle.
Yeah, definitely you can see Vin Tyson going for first, but instead gets returned a favor from Ruby DD. He just went in with the unstoppable force, and now it's a 1-1 trade right in, and that Josh hit, like I said, very offensively.
Yeah, a mistake onto Vin's side personally, because again, on bottom side is probably saying, hey, I pushed the wave, I don't see Jawhead. Should have been that communication much earlier on.
Pressure on towards R7 while Psycho's going to be coming in towards the corner just to negate a little bit of the pressure. Then we'll be able to clear some of these camps pretty much safely, but I don't think that it's really much necessary for D to be there at this very moment, but definitely Rrq Hoshi can take it slow, and eventually they have to ramp up. And here goes Albert driving straight in towards 3 members, and they will be able to catch out Ruby DD.
Yep, really well played from Rrq Hoshi. They cut off that top side. They realized, you know, they're putting a lot of pressure on our top side. Let's just run down bot side and make a play.
Here we go in mid. That's going to be caught in the middle. Vin D from the back spinning around. By maybe. In comes the other R7. Psycho finished the job. Kid is going to fight it as well as it's a 2-for-1 here. Rrq Hoshi win that.
Is it really worth it to actually risk everything over on mid side just for this, as Rrq manages to punish Burmese goals and until force and the ejector straight towards Psycho, and he will fall. Overstepping in towards that zone is very punishing.
Great punish. I mean, honestly, great punish coming in for Rubidi. He even gets the blade of despair. We haven't seen this in a while, but at least he's doing a great job, an excellent job, in fact, doing so. But let's look at the builds and kind of have a bit of a deliberation over it, because again, you can see Lemon, he's building once more.
Well, there's looking towards those scenes, I'm happy to see he's out there for R7 Small, doing just about fine. A lot of attention on toward Turtle coming up, and Burmese Ghost already got one back, and just looking at the goal differentials, Rrq Hoshi still having it in the back. Loses though, Psycho approaching really close, but Albert, he tries to go in. Retribution is still in the way, and towards the Tempest, the time. They're chasing right in, looking for Kid. Flicker has been popped up. Well, maybe their health will be taken out by the lane as they go in for more. But see, they are on their face, and Albert is the only view that's left alive on R7.
Oh boy, oh boy. I mean, Albert could have gone for one more, but I think he didn't want to risk it, considering that Ace did have the orange buff on him, and he didn't. So it's like, I want him, but he's got a lot of damage, and Marksman's with orange buff slow me down, but True Ninja is definitely not the best decision, so he pulls back out. It's going to be a 2-for-3 trade.
I think the Burmese goes here, they're trading good numbers, right? They're catching up. Rrq Hoshi still keeping up the pressure, and that one turret lead, if they continue trading this way, it might take a while for Ace to be unleashed, and so far, so good. 7 minutes, 30 seconds in, he is holding his own here.
Yeah, definitely what I'm seeing right now. As much as they did actually give the turn away accidentally, with Lane just flying through with the retribution. Not that they could stop it anyways, right? So with that, we're going to live for Skirmish over on towards Smith, trying to catch over on towards Smith. But Cyclops right in. Time Journey being popped up as well. Ruby DD sets up for the dive. And there we go. A catch on towards Ruby DD.
This is not a good look for Rrq Hoshi. They lost their core for a mid. This is the Albert should never be caught out like that. Wow. There's very little catch on the side of these ghouls. What do you want from there? You're looking for that reverse time. You're looking for that knock-up or that throwaway, the ejector. You're looking for that arrow. And for that split second underneath that turret, they were able to still take out Albert. Oh, if they keep doing that, hold up. He's getting bursted.
Oh boy. That would be a turret being lost up, and great that you mentioned it, as of course that's a 1-for-1 trade in that role exchange. Not entirely the best of scenarios in the long run, but look at what we have. Another turtle here. Ace could easily take this for Burmese goals, as gold is very obviously it's really too much for the moment, but big items have been purchased by Ace as well as the
Golden Staff, and as well as Brute Force Breast onto D here. And going back to that fight, honestly, it literally was just maybe who saved the entire fight. That Aegis, on top of the smart missiles, the shields wasn't enough for to actually win that fight. And then, once they walked away, came into play, but it looks like they want to go for more here.
Onicon out. Psycho, this is going to be an opening for the side of Burmese goals. They're trying to find a way to just get some picks, but Lemon has already popped his ult, and there's nothing much that the developer could have got out of that anyways. Now Albert tries to move across, trying to make a little bit of a split push coming in towards the top side, and well, members of Burmese goals, they're definitely nowhere near where the lane is.
I mean, Ruby DD is on his way to kind of match the push, but I think it's going to be a little too late. And you don't forget that Vin, he's going to say hello, hello, get a good stun here, but hopefully he doesn't get one shot.
Definitely a good trade in towards mid, but Ruby DD, they get one shot. Yeah, there you go. It just gets one for free.
Great bait coming in from Vin overall. I mean, the way that this fight is going, wait, hold on.
almost engaged. Oh, but they were baiting the lethal counter, not taking anyone. The wet by Ace. Oh, I think they're just gonna say we'll take this purple here.
Yeah, I guess perhaps it was worth it at the end, although they did expand and love all these elements like the Blazing Duet, and this is where Albert won.
And baby gets popped out instantaneously.
Okay. What you will, but I think the fact that Vin has to expend.
What they
If you keep doing that,
when maybe his time journey is off cooldown, he wouldn't mind. Since it is kind of a standstill, watch out. This might be conditioned.
It's always going to be a win for Vin here, especially since maybe if he dies, cool. Or without, it means that he's going to get gold. He's getting that free pick, and if this continues on, this could be one of those. It could occur where a situation says, "Hey, we're gonna have exactly what we see here: Psycho catching somebody off with the Imperial Justice." So it maybe gets caught out way too early through Vin. Might be some problems later down the line.
you know this is a flicker burned for Psycho. So that's one less bit of range, one less escape. But I'm not counting out the fact that he might get away with 1 HP. It seems to happen all throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm being purchased by maybe.
And time to time again, we're going to be seeing a little bit of the choke point being set coming in from the side of Burmese Ghoul's, but knowing that they could probably get out of perhaps just trying to contest for this buff at the moment, but Lemon's already moving right in. Baby is going to do exactly the same, just to soak in whatever thrown at from the side of Rrq Hoshi. Goes in. But honestly, they're setting the eye on the prize here with a big win on a team fight. They could obviously look for the first Lord. Live Despair has already purchased from R7.
How this is working out. Lord is not really being contested. You know, Rrq understand they can't do much about it because look on top side. Balmon getting a preemptive push to set this up for the rest of the Burmese Ghouls. Hoshi saying, if we fight now, looking a little bit into the future, he's going to get that first rotation and catch off that back line, and R7 is going to be a little fight.
Yep, and that's what the Balmond is looking to bring to the table. Is whole mobility and this fact that you have to
Notice a little bit like a Yu Zhong, but a little more lethal, and I guess now with the flicker, he has a little bit more range.
Yeah, definitely going to be having that sort of reach just to go ahead and catch, you know, on a good day you get Albert, or perhaps Ben, that's pretty close by. That turret's going to be going down eventually, but the Lord is over to the opposite side, and Rrq Hoshi forcing the fight right here. This is getting a catch, and the Lapu Lapu will be able to take down maybe. And again, it's a lot being used up just to get that gate out there, so Burmese Ghoul can still plot out another engagement right there. They still got those flickers up on, and this is Lord really taking down a turret.
Also notice this. I mean, the fight's are going to go, oh wait, there's a full again.
Oh no, D got caught out there, and this is going to continue on. Lem already used the Wrath of the Dryad, and it's going to be a engaged. Purple still kept here by Albert. They need to go ahead and clear the door. They're fine, hold up. It continues. Kids get taken down here, and Mamba out. That's going to be a lot of damage taken in by Lemon at the trade bar. Tank for the mid laner, and the Blazing Duet has been up. So far, that's going to be Tempest taken. 3-4-3, very messy for both teams, but Albert is running for his life. Flicker in by Ruby DD, and they disengage. Still no turrets taken down on the bottom lane, but they actually pushed.
Yeah, I think it's good enough for the side of Burmese Ghosts after that sort of fight that they call on for, and almost actually everybody in the back except for Albert, of course, having so much mobility to move out. But hey, eventually this is definitely going to pay a whole lot. Let's look at the instant replay to break this one down further, Gideon.
The way that they're taking these fights here, BDD actually getting the ejector on that side, really great play. They trade evenly so far, but now they want to Albert here. I don't think they have the tools to do so, but coming back in, it really comes to how strong maybe is going to be. The more survivable he is, his ultimate is going to be very relevant in these full 5v5 team fights. If Rrq Hoshi wants to really punish them, they hit maybe. One more thing to note, Burmese Ghouls not getting as much as a snowball, but they are getting those objectives, so get ready, because RQ is going to start fighting it out and really starting to play more flexibly in the late game.
Yeah, the only goal difference is only 1,000, and here comes maybe once again, coming in from the side, it's going to be 12, and Psycho getting caught out, he needs to run for his life, he will eventually fall to the hands of Maybe, and with that, maybe as much as he gets popped up, he is all the way towards the back line looking for Albert, and R7 already dropping out. But Kid is giving his life up eventually as Albert pops in the Tempest. The damage good, as you can see. Ace and the rest of the members of Burmese Ghoul, they're looking to end game one right here, right now. And Burmese Ghouls, they take first blood.
Woo! What a way to drop the game. One mistake coming out from the side of Rrq, and Burmese Ghouls take a game off of Rrq. This is a big stake. Myanmar will rejoice.
I love the body block that was put in place to save Kid. That was close, but I think that was exactly the moment wherein, all right, if you're able to bait Albert, he won't get the waves and we're able to finish. And that was just, is the 1, 2, 3 alley-oop slam dunk. Bound just won a game in M2.
Yeah. Not to mention that BDD was able to actually use the ejector to flick Lemon out of there, so he couldn't affect the win as well.
It was all about just going straight for the core anyways.
Yeah.
Base.
Right now, I was just seeing you catch that in high level mechanics.
Rrq Hoshi right now. So in response, now on the side of Rrq,
I think the Burmese Ghouls are waiting to see if they can pick out the Balmond. Second phase is their last chance. They are going to be closing up with the two strong picks here to try and answer RQ's counter. But the thing is, no, I don't think you try to counter Diggy at this point. Like, if so ready that they pick up Diggy second pick, first phase, then that means whatever Rrq Hoshi is bringing, they're willing to answer back, and that's what makes maybe Diggy so strong. Yeah. It's not the usual Diggy that's like, okay, I just need my ult, or okay, I'm all in feed. It's more than that. They've turned Diggy into a lethal weapon here.
Rrq Hoshi getting that Khaled. And Jawhead is their fourth ban onto the side of Burmese Ghouls. That's going to be Akaja. What are the possible bans here for both teams that you're thinking that's possible that they're just gonna come up with?
Thinking the show, but even then, this is kind of very situational here on what RRQ is going to be first picking. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But it's going to be, the Ruby is going to be taken out, and that's just going to leave Ruby DD a little out in the open.
Yeah, he only has the D now, not the Ruby, because it was banned out.
Feels bad. Feels bad.
Very much so. Like, I definitely felt like it's somewhat of a good option to replace the Balmond, like, with the Ruby itself, but now they're going back at it again. Are we going to be having that Balmond in hand, but Burmese Ghouls, they still can go into the game a couple of these sort of the high mobility heroes in the form of,
you know, there was that split push that they tried to pull up, and Albert was definitely annoying to deal against. So no more lane, they gotta look for something else.
But then again, Rrq Hoshi here, banning out the Ruby means they want to give a lot of opportunities or priority to that Khaled. So that only means they might be putting this whole lineup or this whole draft on the Khaled.
Potentially, I mean, they lock in the Harith here, you know, it doesn't matter what Burmese Ghouls pull out, they're going to have some really dominant side lanes, and they're just making sure that there's some wave clear, has some great scaling, and just kind of force Burmese Ghouls to kind of play RRQ's game, where it's keep it in lane, keep it sane, as long as we go for those 1v1s and small skirmishes, most of the time RRQ should get ahead, unless the Burmese Ghouls emphasize even more on their early game composition, because level 1 is looking real nice for Burmese Ghouls.
If through the draft Rrq Hoshi is able to execute that and enforce that gameplay, then yeah, Burmese Ghouls gonna get shut down. We're not gonna see the same way Ace played in game number 1 so quickly, 15 minutes in, even we're behind. But right now they've locked it in. Hold up, it's going to be a Claude. There's no way that a Hayabusa can share the spotlight with a Claude this way, and for them to both get good amount of fun. And yeah, this is, I believe, the third Grok of the day. Of them successful, the other not so much, 50-50. The Burmese Ghouls looking to skew and change the numbers.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you know, the whole time in this pick and bans, there's Sylvana of these teams actually went for it itself. So yeah, like this Grok now looking to display some of the members and of course ram them right in with the power of nature if they can catch them on those certain choke points, which will definitely be a setup for Claude to move right in. Now, final pick, and it's gonna be that Roger. I'm pretty sure you guys have an opinion about this.
It's great against the Diggy, the Grok. It can dive as much as possible.
And go forever.
And one of the things that Rrq Hoshi is thinking about right now is to just stop the game by the time we hit the 12-minute, 14-minute mark, because it's not gonna look good for their way if it is a Hayabusa and a Claude at the late game.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much better in a lot of these situations here, but I mean, RRQ, with the composition that they're bringing out, it's got a lot of ups, it's got a lot of plus points, especially when it comes to the early to mid-game phases. Like, around level 2 and 3, that's when you're going to see RRQ get a little bit more priority.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you know, like we talk about the early game, a late game for the side of Rrq Hoshi. This is literally taking time for Burmese Ghouls to just close things out.
And looking at it, we have your 5 players on the screen, and right now we go to the Celestial Palace, and I am gonna throw you casters, Gideon, Contra, and Leo. Take it away.
And we shall. Here we go. Game number 2. Burmese Ghouls versus Rrq Hoshi. looking at lanes, it's like this is indeed going to be a Khalid on Psycho and he had Benedetta yesterday, and it looks like this is a little more sane, more of a throwback, and they are heavily invading in the purple.
Yeah, I mean, they want to abuse Khalid's level 1 here. All the way around, he's got the concussive blast as well, so keep note of that, but he only predicts something that is going to be happening around here, which means Michael needs some help. Unfortunately, no Matilda on his side, but knowing now Vin, he goes in a bit of damage, but he can only target one person at a time. Vin getting this up to D, but it's not going to be enough. R7 as well, trying to pick him up, and D on the run. Image over the wall.
They almost caught Psycho, but of course, the trying to invest in that Ruby and he's being caught in between, now having to force a couple of flickers in the early phase itself. They're going to be pulling right back, but still nothing has happened all too much as of yet. Great response though coming from Burmese Ghoul with it.
Yep, they saved themselves from the first blood. Could have been literally one more hit from Vinegar. Could have been just the down onto D, but let's do D is playing from the side lane. It's actually Ace who is the jungler for Burmese Ghouls, and as similar as it looks from game number 1, especially after they lock in the first phase Diggy, it's actually a very different draft now. Ace gets checked in on by Lemon. Oh no, there's a pullback.
Oh boy, a 4-man investment just to take down Lemon, and he still managed to walk away alive. So side of Rrq are going to be happy that, okay, we know that all the other members skills are already down here. They can definitely start the turtle, but Ruby DD is trying to find a way to pull it away, force the flicker, and here comes the rest of the members of BG. They're already taking a chunk of health away from Psycho.
It's tough. I mean, he does have the quick sand guard to regenerate his health back up to full, but again, it's all about level 4s, and right now, more level 4s on the side of Burmese Ghouls. Comparison Rrq Hoshi, and I mean, at least R7 does have the Zaman Force ready to go off, but BDD making sure he's being relevant in this game. R7 now going to be dropping the Zaman Force to try for the solo kill. Does he get it?
Close, good use of this. Oh, just the tip. He skipped him. Oh, nice swing.
Wow.
And there's going to be the first blood. Out R7. They're gonna be Psycho checking in. You good? You good?
Not good anymore. Like that sidestep just on time before he to the wall. So, well, Rrq Hoshi first. Maybe here's the next one here that won't fall as the big fat wolves arrive.
They're going to be continue pushing on this with this lead here, and Rrq Hoshi, they got a 2K gold lead for now, and I mean, let's see how far this is going to get them, because the Burmese Ghouls, they can easily turn this around. And this is the first seeing, actually, on the first turtle fight, that a team was able to start a ball on their side, or at least get a lead against the Burmese Ghouls.
And we talk about how important this early game is for the side of BG, and they're already right now. And of course, a couple of boots are already being out. R7 going back at it, but Ruby DD, 30 minutes, all time force in, and Psycho tries to pin him down, but he knows, okay, he's expected a lot of attention, and he'll draw a little bit from Rrq.
Yep. Kill me once, shame on me. Kill me, shame on me. Wait, is that how that goes? Anyway, here we go. The shadow kill helps out, maybe knocks out Vin, maybe the revenge kill here by Albert, so it's a 1-for-1, but I think that's something that BG can afford anyways, but the push continues. Here comes Kid for free by Ace.
Right now, Matilda's been, I mean, Kid has been doing a really good leading towards the mid lane of, you know, getting that information and zone and allowing maybe to get really aggressive here, because again, this harass is really abusive. Like, they're just going to keep on smacking him, circling Eagle as well on the Psycho.
Things do they want to throw at the Khalid, and he still walks away. And now we're going to be having Albert to be able to bounce over on towards the mid lane. Demon Hunter sword for D, and the nonsense up. He walks away with so little left.
Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Lemon even bothered Flicker to try and close the distance against D, who did purify. So regardless, if D gets caught out in the next upcoming fight, he's not going to be able to get out that hard CC that Rrq have dedicated themselves. I mean, they've got the Raging Sandstorm, they've got the Abyssal arrows as well. There's just so many things to worry.
Vin gets smashed here by the Guardians. Very here. 1 for Ruby DD here. By the way, is not your traditional Grok. Look, he's on high and dry.
High and dry. Well, it's a little bit of throwback because back then, Grok was definitely a thing, but, well, I don't mind facing against R7.
Is this the Burmese meta invading him too right now? This is amazing.
I suppose, but let's see if it works. It needs to garner some results. If not, it's just going to be staring in the water. And Rrq, they want to contest this next up. They want to contest this turtle, but can they even get it here? Especially with Burmese Ghouls, they're trenched in hard. But yes, they do. They managed to get a steal.
1-for-1 turtles now.
Yeah, and not only that, they managed to exchange it with the turret being taken by the side of Rrq. So a little bit of different objective are on their eyes right at the moment. But they blazing to it towards Lemon. But how long can he last? He will be able to survive with the rest of Rrq. Nowhere to be found to be providing assistance. No, not need any of that, but having more members being sent through, they're trying to stop the push. Whoa, Sandstorm right at corner, and Tower Journey has already been popped. Here comes Kid, though. We've already called off many of these big ticket
That was
ultimates.
ridiculous generation. I counted, 2 or 3 ults dropped by the Burmese Ghouls, and Rrq Hoshi was like, okay, let's go. Let's do it again. Quick sand guard and the Lightio on Lemon, but we almost missed it. Maybe go down. What a quick blast by Rrq. The Diggy, I mean, yeah, they can afford it, but it's never good to just leave the hero like that. Circling Eagle right now. Psycho is the target. A few slashes later onto Albert, and Psycho, in comes Lemon from behind. That's going to be a double for free. Ace gets one. Trade the Kid, and that's going to be Lemon. Reverse time, even in small pit. That's going to be the flicker out by Lemon. They survive 1 for 2 so far.
They go way too deep, and, well, I guess that answers your question with the high and dry, right? Like, wow, the Grok is being placed in that perfect scenario, and they will be able to reap the rewards by just taking down all these members of Rrq who hope or catches after maybe goes down, but still maybe he's popping that time journey already. So free pick coming from R7 popping out that Xanon Force, and now looking for Ruby D. You know, Grok can last for quite a while as he is buying a little bit top side though. 1v1.
They meant away, and the power nature, especially with the nature shield, it's great ability. He walks in.
It was a 2v1.
A 2v1. Unfortunately, that's going to be Albert paying the price, maybe taking longer on towards that mid side, but even then, he doesn't want to be part of it. Raging Sandstorm coming in from Psycho, but he has no way to get out. Pistol out doesn't land. That should be it for him. Quick sand guard.
Just look at the sand guard. He tags the entirety of the OG Shadow kill, but he will still go last 6-7. Burmese still looking to secure the mid side of the tower, but Finn has just arrived, and Shadow stepping away, and oh my goodness, Missile Arrow goes all the way through, but not hitting anyone as yet.
This is a very small matchup from either side, still maintaining the gold lead. The Burmese Ghouls catching up and evening out that score, both the 1-1. Finally, they get that bottom tier 1, top tier 1. Burmese Ghouls pull ahead slightly, ever so slightly.
Check out the items here on the Burmese Ghouls. D already has 2 core items, the Golden Staff and the Demon Hunter Sword. Let's check out Ace here. That's going to be a Blade of Despair right now, just now, and a Raptor Machete. That's going to be Psycho spending here the Rampage Sandstorm.
Albert's in a little bit of trouble here. Salmon Force already being popped up, and R7, he's trying to find a little leeway, but in the middle of it all, you can see Psycho tag every single thing that he can just to buy some time for Rrq. But just look at Rrq. All the OG shadow kills gonna be popped up because of Rrq. They're shoved all the way back to base with a take of health. How did they even make it out?
Okay, styling and profiling on us. The King of Kings show us. All right, everybody's been running away with 1 health. How about all 4 of us do it at the same time?
Oh my goodness. I mean, whatever, they make it away with 1 health. I mean, the Burmese Ghouls gotta be really frustrated. And all they get is just a tier 1 from it. So that all the tier 1 turrets taken out. Lord is on the table. This game is absolutely ridiculous. 9 minutes into the game, only 26 to 24k. Usually by now, we usually see a lead, but both teams going strong and extremely even.
Yeah, and each of them actually take that damage distribution. Oh, that's caught as Sandstorm has already used up time turn perfectly. They use and a flicker. That's very costly.
Oh boy, man. Oh boy. He might just click that one. And he ends up, This could be huge. They don't have the time journey anymore.
All right, here we go. They're coming in. That's engaged by Ace. I almost thought he was gonna pop the shadow kill.
Yeah, I actually go in for the full commitment, but Ruby BB also occupying Albert, okay, we can't exactly fully take this fight. Burmese goes, they're waiting for another chance right here. The Rrq Hoshi, they tried to land maybe a couple of taps of the Yado, able to take down the turret, but, they've already got enough of that clearly coming from D.
Wind of Nature picked up by D now. So he's big from Lemon, even the basics from Psycho. And hold up, quick Ruby DD, wild charge out of here, and he just leaves the dust.
Yeah, and you can see if he stayed any longer or flicker, he would definitely gone down. And that Grok didn't look like any pulled it at all. Great catch with the missile arrow landing, but it's gonna be being popped immediately from Baby. And the next one to be caught out is he's forcing the flicker away. 50% health left, and now Rrq has to draw the Lord out of the pin. Kid has to respond right on the cat cycle as well, but Lemon definitely going in for a little bit of action. Over the back, it's going to be a flank coming from the Hayabusa. This might just be it. They're looking for Psych, and he's going to be putting the quad shadows out there. Just great push and pull, but oh boy, we're not getting results here. Lemon now going in towards mid-side. D already popping the blazing duet, trying to stretch the, but here comes Ace. Ace will go in for Lemon alongside Ruby DD. They get one kill in the process as for an exchange against Burmese Kid.
Oh boy, this is some really good macro coming in for Burmese schools. You could literally Ace. He's running up topside. There was this bad wave about to crash into that too. And when you see this fight occurring, I would have preferred if D decided to actually around use the blazing duet to his advantage, but he didn't have the ult. So he runs up topside and lets Hayabusa stick around.
And so it went well for them, right? Trading Kid out for Lemon, winning
Whole tug of war, because really, Rrq Hoshi could have finished the Lord. It took some time for them to say reset, 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 and I think Hoshi at some point got frustrated.
Yeah, and I think honestly, Burmese schools playing a super distant game. They will only take fights when maybe is on their side, or at the very least, Rrq Hoshi, especially for R7, drops down that.
Yeah, and previously, they also managed to get a real good catch on towards me. That episode hour didn't land perfectly, so they say, okay, it's man, maybe we could pull even the Lord, but after that, BG understanding that they need to apply a little bit of pressure, and they've managed to get that hatch eventually towards Lemon. Although it's a lapu, but it's still big now, forcing the flicker from inside of Psycho. They're trying to chase in. Couple of all these. No goodness, how many bombs are inside that bush?
They've stacked up quite a number in there, but at this point, I think Rrq, they're just looking for a macro opportunity to get inside of the Burmese Ghoul. They want to play on the inside, but now Psycho getting on. He's gone, and this is going to be the green light for the Burmese Ghouls.
Yeah. Lemon, he might just be the next one on the chopping block right now with Albert focusing on towards Kid. Same goes towards R7. While Lemon is still
Journey! It worked out! That's gonna be down R7 as well, and that's gonna be four down. Vin is the only survivor, and he's running it back into his base. This could be the finish.
Yeah, look at the timers. Right now, they don't really have much. Maybe Psycho can come out in 10 seconds, but they can't take as much as lead. And with that, that's a free lore for Burmese goals.
Yep, they're going straight for that Luminous lore. This should be no contestation, and even Psycho is going to be bringing out that armor as well. Oh boy.
I love how Vin just throws out a rogue missile arrow. Just maybe.
Just a Hail Mary.
Maybe.
Just takes it, will win.
I'd better try than not. All right. Accept. First Lord going over to Burmese.
He didn't even try to say to look. Oh, did I get it? He just walks away. I'll just maybe I might score the longest troll from the Olympics. Maybe.
Oh boy, it's just one of those situations where cool guys don't look at explosive. If he gets it, he's going to have the best clip of his life.
If he's then, let's see what happens. Right now, fight about to break out.
Yeah, Lemon to hold on the front line of the defense for Rrq Hoshi. And there you go, Gator coming in under, he's been popped up, but they're chasing right towards the back. All these waves coming from this side, and it will be Burmese goes to 1 tower up top. They immediately disengage, and you know they've got enough. It only takes a little bit of a touch over on the middle walls on the bottom to just open all the ends.
To kind of deal away the economy and act like a complete bully, making sure that they don't have any way to kind of bring themselves back from this economic damage here. And Burmese Ghouls, as you can see, they're 6K ahead against you. So Rrq no matter how hard they engage, maybe the problem.
Yep. Oh, shadow kill taken. Vin, try to chase me. Ha, come back here, circling eagle now, stunning lemon. Team Eagle on the lapu-lapu. That's gonna be me coming in. Times 3, ladies and gentlemen. That's gonna be a raging sandstorm bicycle down, stopping the fight there, and as well across the map, it's gonna be retreat Rrq Hoshi.
Why did they just let Lemon just stand there? They could have taken him out.
Yeah, and like it's a very massive call coming from you as well, extending all the way outside, out of the turf, just to perhaps find a couple of all these picks, and maybe not just be an opening for their side, but still they may manage to have Lemon still standing.
Oh boy, 2 minutes. 2 minutes until the Lord is back up, and that just means that RQ have 2 minutes to try and catch up to the Burmese Ghoul.
Yeah, let's take this time to appreciate what he's up to. He has a Bloodlust axe, and I do believe with 2 Legion swords, you're gonna build later despair. What's going on with this Grok?
I mean, it's the classic Grok, the kind that deals a lot of damage. I mean, no matter how hard Lemon hits him, and Rubini is, as long as there's a wave, I go back up to full and just clear the wave, do it again, rinse, repeat.
Oh, interesting now. Oh, wild charge knocks out Lapu-Lapu and no mercy. All the ults, man. Just all the ults. And I think Lemon is going to get away because here comes...
Oh, Albert coming right in. I'm not too sure if this is definitely a spot because they can't really get a catch on towards Ace. 7-4 spin popped up and Ruben, as much as he's attacked his rock, and he's still trying to fight, and he bought so much time for his side of Burmese Ghoul, and he has to take down Albert. What a great call! And Burmese Ghoul, they are taking whatever they want because what? Game number 2 is going over to the Myanmar side, and we are looking at match point real soon. But I don't bet for his life, trying to exchange, but look at that line. They will push it to get to the grand final.
2 in a row! Burmese Ghouls! If this was a best of 3, they just got... I mean, if this was a best of 3, RQ just got knocked to the lower brackets, but this is a best of 5s. This is the semifinals, so we're waiting for to see who books that slot into the finals, in the grand finals. And Burmese Ghouls looking mighty fine.
I'm back, guys. That
Welcome.
I am speechless.
Welcome, Butters.
Burmese Ghouls. They had this certain thing in mind that the Dicky is really gem that they found, the hidden gem that nobody looked at. But for them, this is going to be one of their weapons for the M2 World Championship.
It's not a reaction they're using it. I'm pretty sure we'll hear from the analysts, but right quick, just say the writing is on the wall, literally. M2 of Myanmar 2-0 right now against Rrq Hoshi. Predictions are just thrown out the window at this point.
Yeah, to make it this far, and especially doing so well against RQ.
Yeah.
I tell you who, everyone back in Burma or Myanmar, because tell you what, all your predictions
lane is and how important it is. I think Burmese Ghost feels right now. I feel like it's do or die right here after this ban. Are we taking the diggy or else we'll use it again?
Oh, I would agree, but I think especially with RRQ is on the blue side, they can kind of determine and dictate, because Burmese Ghouls in the previous matchup they locked in that Diggy super early, and RRQ said, hey, you know what, we don't really care. They kept forcing. But in this sense, kind of respected the pick. You can start building around it, and I think that's something they have to take in mind. But instead, you know what? Don't even bother. Just get rid of it.
That bird out of the window, just throw it out. And right now, Rrq, they just go for that ban. Burmese Ghouls here, I think they're happy with this. Because the thing is, the other team is looking at it as a threat.
Well, of course, speaking of threats here, there's a potential that we are going to be seeing a Brody if Burmese Ghosts don't ban it out.
Or Natalia?
Yeah, either side. So it's a very big call. Now, Burmese Ghoul looking to be stuck in a very interesting scenario. And there are times that, even Natalia was being left out in the open. They have been able to push it into space to ban.
With that final Brody ban for the first phase of the banning, it's going to be Rrq Hoshi. Without the Diggy, the Sylvana is looking good.
Question: the Burmese Ghouls have the confidence to be whipping out that Natalia here, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but instead they go for the Benedetta as well as Yi Shin Shin. Again, two high priority picks here in the tournament.
Now, we have seen Burmese Ghouls take advantage of this Yi Shin, and they're very good at it. Now, what does Rrq Hoshi have to do to just maintain this certain 50-50 balance between them in terms of the early game layout?
I think for Rrq Hoshi is try to get as much fun as you can, and given how creative Rrq has been throughout the group and even in the playoffs, this show is going to be key. The show here showing up could be a tank, could be a side laner, could be an assassin type show once more, but the Burmese Ghouls seem to want to rid the Lunox. We haven't seen the Lunox much, and in season 6 of many an MPL, Lunox has been showing up, so right here, right now might be a good time to do
I just
so.
got word of this earlier when I talked to some of the teams. The Lunox right now has this certain mechanic that he can do double brilliance. Meaning he can deal twice as much damage as your brilliance.
Oh, we have seen a Lunox in the playoffs once.
Yes, we did.
Once, so here we go, another go. Ooh, 100% win rate, are we seeing that?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, Ling has been the next man coming in for the Burmese Ghouls, and now it's just about the scaling, because RQ haven't really shown they wanted to play an assassin type or going to be the traditional marksman. As the Burmese Ghouls, like, I don't think Natalia is going to be touched, mainly because Yishin is going to be, every single time Mount Shark comes out, Natalia is revealed, lose all that pressure and presence.
Now, the show on Psycho, this could be their tank. But the thing is, RQ already used this yesterday, and this did not stand against Burmese Ghouls.
Yeah, and of course you still have Lapu Lapu on your side as well, so it's definitely going to be a layer. I feel like it's potentially 11 really going pretty tanky heading in towards late game, but the problem is you can't really get a grasp on Benedetta if you're going for the loot outside, which you can easily just burns away. So very tricky scenarios, but of course the biggest bounty is on the Yi Shin Shin. Now that we're having only last bans for both Rrq Hoshi as well as Burmese Ghouls, they have very certain objectives that they're going for this time.
Yeah, and one of them is just locking up jungler. They get rid of the Lancelot and they get rid of the Rafaela. Because I think, yeah, they might be reading into this. Rrq Hoshi could use these two last slots to fill in that hyper carry role once more. It could be a Rafaela, a Bruno.
Yeah, and they've done it before. They've shown it that they are capable of doing it yesterday, and Burmese Ghouls shut it down, and that's exactly what they're going to focus on. RRQ, on the other hand, now the question is, do they want to kind of go away this Natalia? Burmese Ghouls, they still don't necessarily have a support, and there's still plenty of space for Natalia to actually fit inside the composition.
There are a lot of red flags for the side of Rrq Hoshi that they want to go for the hyper carry, especially that that fourth ban of Kaja. It really just says a lot about what they're planning, and now the champ, you do not want to have that Lunox Chango combination for the side of Burmese Schools. That is a hard defense to break.
Yeah, I felt like if they really wanted to go for that Bruno Rafa, they could have possibly picked it, like what they did on the other day when both picks were left in phase number 1. And obviously, Burmese Schools have already seen their game studied well enough. Okay, if one day we're facing them, this is what we're gonna ban. And yeah, going to phase 2, this is the problem here.
Yeah, the reason why Rrq Hoshi, Coach James, to be specific, was so confident both to do it. One was it was relatively unknown, like it wasn't as open. But right now, after winning day 1 with it, I think Burmese Schools would read well into it. I mean, they literally did. Like, they got rid of the one half of that formula. So after this Khalid pickup by the Burmese Schools, Rrq Hoshi have to finish up strong, and they're still lacking a jungler.
Yeah, to add on top of that, the other time that they have the Bruno Rafa lineup, they also had Khalid to just be the icing on the cake. So with that thing still out, obviously it's gonna be something that's extremely different.
Yeah. You can get the Bruno, but then your last more thing, it's gonna look very awkward. Yeah, Rrq Hoshi's not forcing anything here. They have to play to a strategy they were thinking of from phase 1. They can't change on the fly.
Usually Rrq Hoshi just jumps the gun, just presses those picks, but right now they are done and they have picked their last 2 heroes. That's going to be the Claude and the Louis for their side. Burmese Schools, what are the things that they need for this lineup, for this draft to actually go or to turn out better? It's going to be the Hilda. This one to be very aggressive.
Yep. That's a tank. This is tough because, I mean, even a Hilda in a lineup that Rrq Hoshi has as of right now can easily be punished here. Like, level 1, she's not really going to get too much, especially with Cho on their side. And if Cho is going, it really depends on who is going in towards the side lane. Is it the Sylvana? Is it the Cho? And I'm pretty sure that it's going to be the Sylvana. The Cho's just going to be rotating across the map. Or it could be the other way around. Who knows? But Hilda might not get a lot of value.
Yeah, but the thing is, Gideon, right now, and in other tournaments as well, there's this Khalid and Hilda setup that goes into the jungle, and they try to push out marksmen jungles like Claude. That could be the game plan here for the side of Burmese Schools. Rrq Hoshi, how do they stop this?
I mean, they've got the low E on their side.
Yeah.
And I think that's already one piece of the puzzle that they need to consider. And it really depends on which side of the map the turtle is going to spawn. And more importantly, which buff is going to be contested here. Because if they guess wrongly, it's like, oh no, they're not on their orange buff. I've wasted too much time. It can be a little too late. So let's see how this goes. And more importantly, the lane assignments.
And it's time to go into the celestial battle. I'm gonna throw you to our casters, Gideon, Leo, and Contra. Take the floor.
You know, potentially this is going to be the final game between this 5 series, or unless RQ temple of the game. But speaking of which, we're already seeing being pressured from the get-go, and well, get himself regenerated.
Yeah, just look at the way they opened it up. They sent Rubidity in because he can get out no problem. Maybe he walks in safely, at least no problems there. Top side's gonna get pressure. Brought a little bit of a push, but more importantly, they have mid-prio, so they know exactly which buff they're going to go on before actually looking to consider the invade.
Yep, and right now, as we expected, maybe alongside Kid even, forcing out the time for Albert to take that buff. Although not as fast or not as slow as they wanted to, so we're still relatively at equilibrium. Yeah, this is going to be R7 on the side lane show. Their tank is going to be Psycho. Now maybe comes in.
Yeah, maybe now a bit too much more than he can chew. The rest of Burmese Ghost is not going to be giving him any sort of helping hand, but he might be walking out. First blood for RRQ.
And what did I say? Not going to get as much value, even though he did take the Purify as well, which is really good. A really good shout too. Maybe understanding this, like, yes, there is quite a lot of CC there, so I got to be a little bit more careful. But again, once you get onto that blue side, there's only a few brushes that you can work with, and if you get hit by the Cosmic Lance, it's game over.
Indeed. Now, of course, a lot of pressure onto the top side. Blazing to it already used up, but nothing too lethal for D to deal with. And Turtles coming up next. This is going to be some pretty good deals for the Sun Skulls if they really want to contest.
Given how crazy game 2 went,
I just comment on the overall lineup and especially how they're behaving. This is relatively tame. Like it's come down. Like after all the diggy action from game 1 and 2, like we've gone back to the basic 1-3-1. Like this is interesting to see how these two teams are gonna be pushing the envelope and seeing how far they can take it. Now Mountain Shocker here by face and they catch out Psycho.
Wrong place, wrong time. Psycho will definitely had better days for sure. And
You definitely hate to see it.
like things like this, you can't really commit such errors in such a point in time because we're talking about this game of depth. He might just drop towards the lower bracket, but Kento, he's having a lot of help to get out. And then got out, flickers away, but the dive is already being set. Ruby D is a little bit too deep in towards the turret range and still a couple of all these sort of tabs, but you can definitely see Psycho still going at it over on towards R7. He's still staying in lane.
Yeah, and Lapu on the bottom side is going to get a good amount of gold there. Benedetta finally catches up, but she is low lemon. He pops the ult. He wants to go for the kill so bad. Flickers right on top of it. Doesn't even give him the chance, but Kid looking for the return kill.
I don't think that Kid could possibly do much here after everything expended, including the flicker, has already gotten him a little bit of safety ground, but Rrq already pulling the turtle out, but look at E though, he's coming from the back line. Oh, that storm! And towards Rrq as they put in a challenge, but look who's arrived, blazing the wet! And the rest are very skills, they got caught up with a weight of the dragon as well, maybe goes down, double kill going for the side of RPG.
A late response here by Ruby DD, popping the Electro full blow, not even landing most of those slashes from behind. Gotta note, I think Ruby DD, this is a good call to actually rotate and leave bottom lane because Lemon's doing something right there because I think BDD should have the advantage. He has the high and dry, he has the whole kit of Benedetta, and against Lapu Lapu, you should be winning more fights than you're losing, so I don't understand. So now I get why he went up here. This might be greener pastures.
Yeah, speaking of which here, R7 obviously will have to just give a little bit of the circle and flicker being popped up. Close one.
Not in range of the darkness, but down on, the greener pastures here, D is taking a beating, and the Sandstorm Guardian, Quicksand Guard is not going to be enough to get out, and Rrq going to profit off of this while BG up on top of the top side is going to be trading 1 for 1.
It's a mirror. It's a mirror. A little faster on Rrq though. Oh, sorry, I'm a little faster on Burmese Ghouls, but the gold lead is significant, about 1,500 here for Rrq. About 5 minutes time.
Yeah, and we've already got 4 kills on Albert. If they can shut him down right now, then maybe it might just be even terms, but we definitely see that they need to actually get Ace back on the head. And speaking of Ace here, he gets Psycho and he gets bursted down by Sylvana for great Imperial Justice.
Wow, that was real. Vince sets it up and oh wait, hold on, it's not over. Maybe might be a little bit of trouble and makes sure that he shows his recall. Can't catch me, but yeah, good stuff.
Oh no, Ruby DD gets caught up after the Electro final, still catches quite a few bullets from Albert here, and underneath it, that's Burmese Ghouls losing this fight even on their home turf. Couldn't take down Lemon, that's 2 for none.
Yeah, and slowly but Rrq Hoshi is getting all these reliefs, and speak which, Ace now in trouble once again. Psycho takes all the damage. Look at Finn. He's slowly becoming that mage monster, and D can only hold on for so long.
This is interesting positions to be in here, for sure. For sure. But Rrq Hoshi finally getting Burmese Ghouls to play their own game, but now Brilliance comes out.
Albert here returning with the blazing duet, and he times quickly. They underestimated what the rest Hoshi could have done, and he pays the price by popping the Brilliance in offensive round.
Yeah, maybe here wants a little bit more. He's going to be a little too aggressive, a little too haughty for my taste here. 6 minutes, 30 seconds in, there's a turtle up. I think Ace is just, I don't know, poking the lion. Might get bitten here. Real quick, I think an item check would be in...
in the right timing, because after that turtle take, we're sitting at a 4K deficit behind 4 Burmese ghouls. Albert, he has the Demon Hunter sword. He already has his machete, and I'm pretty sure that's next going to be a golden staff.
This is pretty huge, but now RrQ caught in the Imperial Justice is a full-on fight.
Yeah, it's not looking all too good. They get one free pick, but R7 is just going to be walking on top of maybe and says, oh, you know, there's not going to be any threat. I'm just going to take this free target.
Okay, great work. And there's nothing that Burmese Ghost can actually gain out of, but they're already setting up. Shaman goes into dive on towards maybe once again. As you can see, Kid does all that he can just to take Lemon, but it's been costing a lot. Mount Shocker now spots out the rest of Rrq. But on the mid side, D goes down.
They want to get Brilliance, comes out perfectly. Great dodge, but that's not going to be with the blazing wet through. Rotations to try to slow it down, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to full on chase coming Burmese ghouls.
They can't finish. Oh, finally one for Ruby DD. And from the back, a little too deep. Nice knockup by R7. He's trying to run away. That Yusen Shin survives. And up front, DD dancing. Albert finally ends it 3 for 2 in final tally.
Somebody's got to stop Albert, and as much as they try to do that, Ruby DD has expended everything he can. Electo, name it, like, he can't get a grasp on towards this really slippery cloud, and, you know, for Lemon as well as R7, okay, it's worth it to just buy a little bit more of the attention heading in towards the tier 2 over the mid side, and well, call for it through the exchange. Now 15 seconds towards the next objective here. Can Burmese Ghouls contest?
Well, to be fair, there is no lock on Burmese Ghouls. It's only maybe. Maybe he has to hit him with the 2 over and over again, and then that's it. It's a huge ult that you can't put. Hold up! Way of the Dragon!
Way of the Dragon has been expanded here. Mounting Shocker as well as they were to go on a retreat. 11 wants this fight. He's going, tries to look for Kid, but you can see Psycho jumps right in, tries to get him with the Imperial Justice, locks him down as R7 gets the kill. The next will be D as he tries to run for his life, but now all he can do is just hold on to the rest of the members of Rrq, and the rest of Burmese Ghouls get a little bit of breathing space to retreat.
They have to breathe now. They finally get to breathe, but Albert, he is just absolutely gigantic here. He's got 7 kills under his belt, level 13 in comparison to Kid, who's only level 8, and not to mention that Ace, only level 12 here. He needs to make a play, but Psycho, he's going to find the first catch, but I don't think they're able to catch on it just yet, and this is what they've been doing between Psycho and Vin. Vin has been sending Psycho into these positions, and if the Burmese get caught out, that's when Psycho, the rest of Rrq pounces.
Yep, that's the fanciest face check I've ever seen. You had to use the diversion just to see, is anyone there? You could have walked in. Here's another one, obviously. I think the fact that Vin and Vin pulling this off means Mountain Shocker's not enough. There needs to be more vision. There needs to be a little bit more information outside the Burmese Ghouls to get back here and give Ace more space. But right now, it's looking like Rrq, he's owning the map. They are ahead about 7,000 gold for the first time in this best of 5. Rrq is obviously in the lead now. Wave the Dragon on to D.
Yeah, and it seems like they do miss the Sandstorm right there, but Ruby DD is being caught out by the Blazing to win. Looking to help the Benedetta as he goes legendary, but maybe now, just fall back for the moment. And like you said, getting back to diversions out there, and maybe has pulled way too much. Psycho catches him up.
Have adapted well. They're forcing the Burmese Ghouls to play their game, a very traditional, very classic style here. They have to kind of get some pressure on towards the side lanes, but again, the macro coming up from Rrq in the lead. They have huge with the Blazing Duet as they take out one, and now go for the...
Wow, great dance down to land on top of members on the side of Hoshi, and Electro has been popped up on top of Lemon as he flickers away, but he does not escape from the grasp of the Benedetta. Ruby DD, as once he gets one, the mid lane now exposed, but at least these goals, they finally catch a couple of members of Rrq.
Good news and bad news. Good is they shut down Albert. Bad news is they all of their out of the base turrets. They only have inhibitors left. The rest of the map is open. It's going to be hard to go for Lord Contest. It's going to be hard to go for Wave Clear. It's going to be hard to even get your own buffs. So slowly, surely, I think the Burmese Ghouls here are going to want to make sure that they take the can while Albert is out. But hold up, that's a cancel diversion in those Psycho.
Psycho tries to actually goes in for the Lord Steel attempt, but here goes Vin as well. He's catching on towards Kid, but it's not enough. Brilliant's being safe. Burmese Ghost, they do get the Lord. Big news for the Bambas. They do have to play the spur, and they are preparing for a match.
Vin was trying to do his very best to try and chunk out the main damage dealer, going to be Kid and Ace on their side of the map. But I think overall, very desperate attempt. He probably should have played a little bit towards the back line, waited for R7, and maybe could have potentially made Burmese Ghouls into a fight that they weren't expecting to get that pick. However, now that that is done, Lord is going to be knocking on their door, and let's see how Burmese Ghouls maximum goal, because this was their comeback mechanic.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of game number 1 where, you know, once they get that Lord, they able to just get a lot more of that macro pressure going on. And speaking of macro pressure, you look at Fluidity all the way up towards the mid side. He uses the not really the direction that he could possibly get any sort of a way to escape, but the Lord already knocking on towards the top side here, and it seems like they will be able to save it.
Also, check out R7. He's just working, man. He's just working, pushing up this wave, and in comes D. One can afford to check if the things it should be. Maybe it should be. Gets destroyed.
Oh, that's a big one coming in. He just should both his way in, and well, of course, he did use his Wear the Dragon, but here comes Psycho locking in D with their this as D will be able to walk out alive, but members of BG, they're focusing their attention on a split 2-2 as the other members just trying to see whether or not will they decide.
I think Ruby DD should take care of himself more. Again, that whole defense that turned into the Albert shutdown and eventually to the Lord was only because Ruby DD performed. Ruby did so well, and I think if they can protect him a little more and again tell him not too deep, maybe 1 or 2 more team fights that go that way, then yeah, Ruby's playing the map. But right now, if there's another pick-off on Ruby DD, Ark is looking at a quick finish after that.
Yeah, and I think I would totally agree with you there, Leo, because again, Rrq, they've got the better front-to-front combat system against Burmese Ghoul. Burmese Ghouls need to get in towards that backside. They need to take out Albert. Albert is gigantic, and he's going to be so hard to catch 8-1 unless he makes a mistake with his Blazing Duet, which he doesn't necessarily need most of the fights.
Yeah, you can already see Rrq Hoshi on an optimization mode itself. Like, they're so comfortable with this East meta, and R7 can definitely buy as much as he wants from all these sort of side lanes, do exactly what Rrq Hoshi does best, you know, just pressure from both left and the right wing, and now Vin also gets big purchases.
You know what? I'd like to add to what you just said. Comfortable in this current meta. I'd like to think they're pushing the meta. Same for the Diggy thing, like that's a Burmese thing. But for Rrq here, James, they've also shown us quite a bit of what they're capable of when they're trying to get creative. But right now, this is just bread and butter. Gotta point out as well, the unsung hero here, Vin. A lot of these engages, a lot of these team fights, a lot of pickups would not happen without Vin.
That's right, and very fair point right there. And I definitely think that Vin has been able to actually go into just set up a really great sort of engagement opportunity for the side of Rrq alongside Psycho, and you can definitely see like equally if you just participate in 16 of these fights.
Ooh. I think they need to just slow it down. I mean, like, Rrq Hoshi is just literally waiting for the Lord to come up, have their win conditions at hand, and this is their last push. Burmese Ghouls is able to defend it, then the gold is not going to matter, and this game is going to drag on until Kingdom comes, until somebody makes that mistake. And right now, R7, he's actually forced to be reckoned with, especially when he has High Drive in a 1v lane against Ruby DD, who has a slight advantage only because of the battle spell.
Speaking of which, this is where the Wader Dragon will connect towards Ruby DD, and let's see who exactly is winning the trades, as he will call for this to be breaking off. And the Lord already being out there, Rrq Hoshi is having Albert pulling the Lord out, while the rest of Burmese Ghouls, they're arriving to his scene and get a catch right here. But Lemon, he's getting all the attention that they need for Albert to come right in for the Blazing Duet. The rest of the members of Burmese Ghoul, they're shredded down as the belt life order. But Ace, they do get out of this one with a slitter health, and D, he cannot already hold on for this defense.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Like, Ruby DD is such a big part of this fight, and the fact that R7 just isolated him and now might take him out. Such a big deal. Nice use of sword intent to run away. Another free dash here, our Benedetta, Ruby DD. Oh, he goes on for miles. This is a marathon for his life, and he's not going to give up. He knows you're still there. Nice use of Electro Final Blow, going to be clearing the wave. Lord taken out off camera. Quick solo there by Albert, and this could go forever, and there's the knockout.
At the end of the day, Ruby DD did his job, and that is, oh, we're losing the fight. Clear the waves. You have no way to really pressure us until the Lord is up, and now that it's down, that might, change things just a little bit, but enough time for the Burmese Ghouls to prepare for it. Okay, we're back off of cooldowns. We're back alive in our base, and we can actually defend this properly.
If I really could just honor an MVP right now, like you said, it's R7 because he really pulled the entirety of the attention of Ruby DD up to the point that, yeah, you went for the split push, but if you can't get anywhere near the Lord, like they were at Lord, and they know that, okay, doesn't matter, this Benedetta is already on the stick of health, and you can just keep him there for a long time, but here comes the dive, and Psycho is trying to go in for the setup.
Yeah, he wants to go for a little bit more, but Lord, they're playing this slow. They're not looking to get those fights. They're saying, hey, give them the inhibitors. As long as we can get rid of this Lord, we have a great opportunity. It is going to be the next target here, but when is the fight going to start?
And speaking of which, here be the end of it all if they don't take out the Lord, and with Rrq Hoshi breaks down the final inhibitor up towards the mid side. Now all doors being opened up for Rrq Hoshi. Secure point number 1, but you can see Burmese goals there looking to set a perfect defense right here, maybe getting a chunk of health being taken out, but they're in the middle of all, and D almost dropping out as he tries to help all the way back up, but look at Ruby DD finally going in for Electos. Tries to cut towards the back lines, and then he does fall down with a slither of health still left. Now the shotgun being popped up. They're going for Albert, and Thorpe goes in for that dive, but Rrq is prepared for this defense. Look at it, he's perfectly positioned. He might just be able to turn this one around. Down, and he does have immortality to buy a few seconds up, and look at it, it's still 4 members still available for Burmese Ghoul for the defense.
That was a great fight for both sides here. Rrq finding the picks that they're looking for, Lemon doing a great job, R7 able to zone out the right targets, and Burmese Ghoul is pulling back when necessary, but that's all. They're going to fight one more time, trying to duke it out.
Maybe here get away, but the Blade Duet has been called in by Al. Psycho takes down Ruby DD. Again, a very big key to this and the whole Burmese Ghouls agenda. And right now, 3 defenders left, 5 for Rrq Hoshi. They can smell blood. They know that it could end right here, right now. And it's looking grim for the Burmese Ghouls. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a fight you don't want to miss. That's down onto maybe, the knockout, onto one more ace. Goes at the end. Game number 3. Rrq Hoshi is still in the upper bracket. This one.
Woo! The semifinals are looking good. Rrq managed to take another game. Managed to take from the Burmese Ghouls, bringing it 2-1. So this bout isn't just yet.
Now, looking at the crowd, just and it feels like Rrq, they're more, how to say, confident into just going for the initiates, knowing that the defeat isn't there.
I think more importantly is that Burmese Ghoul is playing in a particular style that Rrq is very comfortable with back home in Indonesia. Like, they do this every other day in the MPL. So Burmese Ghouls, they got to get a little bit more creative here if they want to get ahead. And for the majority of the game, even though that they were down a ton